Last night on Air Force One, Donald Trump had the following to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Something happened to her over the last period of a month or two.
And by the way, I stay home 98% of the time. The last thing I want to do is travel 22 hours in an airplane, as nice as this plane is. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not anyway. I mean, she is a very different thinking than I have. Something happened to her over the last period of a month or two where she changed, I think, politically. I think that her constituents aren't going to be happy. Already, I have people calling me. They want to challenge her to a race in her district in Georgia. And
they file that under things that never happened. That did not happen.
That's too bad. She's lost a wonderful conservative reputation. But when she says, don't go overseas, if I didn't go overseas, we might be in a war right now with China.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that was going to happen.
Yeah. No, he's got people calling saying they want to primary Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, that was the warning shot, and here came the big shot. Donald Trump truthed out 2 nights ago. This would have been Friday night. I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of, quote, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports, or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world as opposed to being the laughingstock that we were, blah, 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 having trillions of dollars. Okay,
taking
fine.
Bill Clinton's joint.
Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. Let's just skip to the substantive part here. All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12% and didn't have a chance, unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. Plant a flag there, because that's apparently not true. She did not call him. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View with their low IQ Republican-hating anchors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Wow. So Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted back, President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all, but I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge. The Epstein files. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the other Republicans before next week's vote to release the Epstein files. Yeah, the vote's scheduled for Tuesday. That is going to be a hell of a day. It's astonishing, really, how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, that he actually goes to this level. But really, most Americans wish he would fight this hard to help the forgotten men and women of America who are fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes, are going broke trying to feed their families, and are losing hope of ever achieving the American dream. That's what I voted for. I have supported President Trump with too much of my precious time, too much of my own money, and fought harder for him even when almost all the other Republicans turned their back and denounced him. But I don't worship or serve Donald Trump. I worship God, Jesus is my Savior, and I serve my district, Georgia's 14th, and the American people. I remain the same today as I've always been, and I will continue to pray this administration will be successful because the American people desperately deserve what they voted for. For me, I remain America first and America only. So the text that she's referring to, one, went to Donald Trump here, as you can see, DJT, the phone. Check the flight logs of Epstein's plane. Bill Clinton is on there like 26 times. Hillary, too. For many of us, releasing the Epstein files has always been for the women who were victims of Jeffrey Epstein, but also because we believe that Democrat bad guys like the Clintons were entangled and involved with him. Epstein was the spider that wove the web of the deep state. Lean into it. So she's trying to, remind him, hey, there's dirt on the Clintons in there, right? Don't you want that dirt on the Clintons? So this is to Natalie, I guess.
Rather naively, in my opinion.
Yeah. So,
well, you're not in there or anything. You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So I guess Natalie is a staffer of some kind, who chewed her out. The Jeffrey Epstein hoax, right? This is the screenshot that Marjorie released. In every single interview I have done, I've defended President Trump. I've said over and over the women said he did nothing wrong, and their attorney says he's the only one who helped. And the Democrats had 4 years to release the files but did nothing. Stop ignoring the women. Many of them literally voted for President Trump and say so publicly. Them being raped as teenagers is not a hoax. So she releases that with her tweet. So Ian Carroll replies, yeah, I'm a stand with the woman against pedos. Yes. Here's from Brown-Eyed Susan. MAGA needs to make a choice. The time has come. Admit you were conned down one road or support a pedo down the other road. The Hodge twins, these are MAGA guys. Trump stopped listening to the people. A lot of people had Marjorie Taylor Greene's back. Rick Wilson, the Lincoln Project guy, says, welcome to the resistance. Clint Russell, libertarian Mises Conker's guy, backed Trump. It's official. Donald Trump is abandoning MAGA, attacking MTG and Massey, which we'll get to in the next segment because he had words for Massey too last night, or Friday night, rather, all to cover up the Epstein files. Mind-blowing. He's going to get impeached, and honestly, I don't care. David Icke, got to go to the OG, David Icke. He red pills the red pilled. He's the original red pillar, this guy. Marjorie, Trump supporters like you voted for a myth, an illusion, yes, who was never what he claimed to be. That's right. It's great that you were speaking out, but face reality. It's not that Trump has changed. It's just that the mask has come off big time. Yes. And what was always behind it is now on public display. Some of us saw it clearly in 2016. Well, you saw a lot that nobody else saw, David. It's a hard life to live. But Marjorie Taylor Greene still has her haters. One of them being Laura Loomer. So you could tell, like, the caliber of person, right, who supports Marjorie Taylor Greene versus the kind of people who are against Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? I told you Marjorie Taylor Greene was lying about having a great relationship with President Trump. Thank you, President Trump, for withdrawing your endorsement of Marjorie Trader Greene. She thinks she speaks for MAGA. She doesn't. Trump just called MTG a ranting lunatic. Ha 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 ha. Cat turd. Wow, you talk about a fucking whore. Cat turd, really. Talk about mask off. I mean, he's already calls himself a cat, so he's already hiding behind an avatar. But wow, we all have to get behind a primary opponent for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just mindlessly repeats that 12:24 a.m. and look at the ratio from cat turd: 5.8 thousand likes to 6.2 thousand comments. One of the comments was from Citizen Uprising. You are an idiot. You actually had a fan with her. You would be humiliated if you knew what Trump actually thought about you. Yeah, exactly. What a dork. You are a grown man obsessed with a low IQ pedo game show host. And there is Cat Turd fangirling out because Marjorie Taylor Greene, once not too long ago, year of our Lord 2022, sported the I Love Cat Turd shirt. But times have changed. So after the night on Twitter, Marjorie Taylor Greene wakes up and says, good morning. I want to thank everyone who texted and posted and commented support for me. You all are so kind, and I appreciate, love, and support you too. I never thought that fighting to release the Epstein files, defending women who were victims of rape, and fighting to expose the web of rich, powerful elites would have caused this. But here we are. And it truly speaks for itself. There needs to be a new way forward. The toxic political industrial complex thrives on ripping us all apart, but never delivers anything good for the American people, whom I love. The PIC tells us to hate each other, fundraises off why we have to hate each other, and pits Americans against each other to the point of violence and nearing civil war. This is all so wrong. We can have our own differences and differing opinions, but we can still love and respect one another. We have far more in common than we have apart. I believe in the American people more than I believe in any leader or political party, and the American people deserve so much better than how they have been treated by both sides of the aisle. The way forward is America first, America only, and that may be the most dangerous pursuit of all. So Cat Turd responds to this. I knew this was coming. Attack Trump for months on every far-left fake news show in the country, then pretend you have massive support, although 95% of your replies are negative, and play the victim. Next will be a fundraising tweet. Well, she didn't get ratioed, bud. You did. You did. So comments weren't as bad as you're saying. So she tweets out again, 11:40 a.m., a couple hours later. I'm now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats against me are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world, the man I supported and helped get elected. Aggressive rhetoric attacking me has historically led to death threats and multiple convictions of men who were radicalized by the same type rhetoric being directed at me right now, this time by the President of the United States. As a woman, I take threats from men seriously. I now have a small understanding of the fear and pressure the women who are victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his cabal must feel. As a Republican who overwhelmingly votes for President Trump's bills and agenda, his aggression against me, which also fuels the venomous nature of his radical internet trolls, many of whom are paid. Yes, we did a whole segment on that because she called them out about a week ago. This is completely shocking to everyone. Yeah, I have a feeling not only is Cat Turd paid, I have a feeling a lot of his followers are paid or bots of some kind. Because, I don't believe that even he got 6,000 likes on, we need to find a primary challenger. Why? Why? In what universe is Marjorie Taylor Greene the one turning her back on the MAGA base? And Donald Trump is actually delivering the goods for the MAGA base. Like, only if you are slavishly loyal to Trump in a way that does suggest, yes, I've said it, I've been the first to say it, and I'll say it again, sexual love for President Trump. If you're motivated by anything beyond that, how on earth can you possibly say that she's the one who turned her back on the MAGA movement? You can't. You can't. So I don't believe that Cat Turd's audience is organic, much less Cat Turd himself.
Well, increasingly, you're seeing that the dead internet theory, which I think when originally conceived was more of a conspiracy theory because the technology was not quite there yet. Now the technology is there. Now with the advance of AI, sending out an army of AI robot accounts is completely feasible. And if you actually look at the profiles of a lot of these accounts, where they're attacking someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene one after the other, they got like 27 followers. Like, right. They don't make sense. We showed one the other night where they were following 0 people. Who follows 0 people, but had almost 8,000 followers? So that's a bot that's just constantly putting out comments that chuds are going to like. So they built up a certain amount of followers. We saw it when we had that viral video. What was it? It was something about Israel that you did.
Yeah, it was the Mamdani thing about.
It was a Mamdani thing.
Yeah,
and you could see a bot swarm because they all said exactly the same thing in slightly different words.
Right. Exactly. My phone is blowing up with constant amazing support. I'm so thankful. The political industrial complex and the toxic violent nature of American politics must end. Our country is worth saving, and it can only be done if we pull together and save ourselves. Now look at Cat Turd just pumping at Cat Turd quote tweets that 3 times. Quote tweets it the same tweet 3 separate times. She gets more pathetic by the minute. Well, actually, it seems like you get more pathetic by the minute. I mean, like literally by the minute. You quote tweet the same tweet 3 times. I told you this morning she'd be playing victim all day today. Oh, for fuck's sake, out of the liberal playbook, meaning that she's, claiming, to be in danger. So Donald Trump wasn't done. As she's tweeting this out, he's doubling and tripling down. Lightweight Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Brown, green grass turns brown when it begins to rot. That is the lamest joke I've ever heard. I mean, and I have somewhat of I have affection for lame jokes. I'll make a dad joke every once in a while, but that is pathetic.
Wait, what did he hire Hillary to do his material?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Betrayed the entire Republican Party when she turned left, performed poorly on the pathetic View, and became the rhino that we all know she always was. Just another fake politician, no different than Rand Paul Jr., Thomas Massey, who got caught being a full-fledged Republican in name only. Make America great again. And shortly after that, Marjorie Traitor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. So Cat Health Ranger says, Cat Turd is going to go down with the Trump regime Titanic. The rest of us are going to stick with principles, not cult of personality worship. I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene read the writing on the wall faster than any of her peers, and she'll come out of this just fine. Her GOP colleagues who remain sycophantic to this fraudulent administration will be persona non grata in D.C. and everywhere else in the very near future. Yeah, she's playing this exactly right. She's playing this exactly right. She is tacking to what is the actual center in American politics, which is traditional, values. Now, she takes it a little further than traditional values, but she, obviously is right of center on the culture issues. And I'm not going to say she's left of center on economics, but she expresses a concern about affordability, which, of course, was the buzzword of election 2025 and is going to be the major theme of election 2026. So what she's clearly doing is positioning herself as someone who can carry the torch of what she's now calling America First, America Only, branding herself now different from, of course, MAGA. But if you look at this, if you want any more proof, Trump's base is turning against him. If the comments on his Truth Social blog are of any indication, we're not going to read all of these, but this is a sample of what that guy tweeted. MAGA is dead, real Donald Trump. 3-time voter for you. You've abandoned America first. Now, not all Republicans jump ship. Congressman Troy Nehls, which I tried to find video of this, I just couldn't find it. It's out there somewhere. We showed it. He was the guy who was out smoking a cigar after the big beautiful bill passed and talking about how we're only going to cut health care for the people who are scamming the system, right? So this guy,
Boss Hog.
Boss Hog, exactly. Yeah, we should call him Boss Hog. He says, I'll be voting no on the Epstein hoax. Wow. The Democrats are using the Epstein hoax to distract us from the winning of President Trump and his administration. Oh, yeah, big winning going on. So much winning. My message to my Republican colleagues, don't let this noise keep us from delivering on the mandate the American people gave us. President Trump, I stand by you in the fight to save America. I'm not going to let this hoax manufactured by Democrats slow us down. Readers added context. Representative Nehls is no stranger to hiding evidence. He was previously fired from a police department for numerous violations to include destruction of evidence. That's fun. You know what's also fun? Look at that ratio. 4.2 thousand likes. Again, I would bet most of those are artificial. Again, how could you like that? Like how? Right. How? 16,000 comments. Marjorie Taylor Greene pointed out, the ratio on this post should serve as the ultimate warning to all of my Republican colleagues. You vote no on Tuesday to release the Epstein files and face severe outrage from America. Yes. Republicans don't have support from women, and this right here is a perfect example of why. Exactly. I told you on the last show that last week was a tipping point. The tipping point was, okay, there's going to come a time when Republicans fear getting on the wrong side of Donald Trump, right? And then the tipping point is when they no longer fear getting on the wrong side of Donald Trump. And once you're past that tipping point, the scales then reverse, where now you have to distance yourself from Donald Trump. Now you have to choose on Tuesday. All of these Republicans are going to have to choose, do I incur the wrath of Donald Trump, and vote yes to release the Epstein files? Or, as Marjorie Taylor Greene said, do I incur the wrath of the American people and vote no to block the release of the Epstein files? We are now past that tipping point where now to be on the right side of Trump is to be on the wrong side of the people, which means they can't really run to Trump for cover anymore because he really gives them none. I don't even know if he gives them any in a primary. I suspect Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to blow out whoever challenges her. I believe Thomas Massie is going to blow out whoever challenges him.
Yep.
Like the scale has totally tipped. Last week was the tipping point. We are now past it. And once that scale tips, it's a very steep incline going the other way. And now Donald Trump is leading a dead movement. And if you need any more evidence of that, here's a good reminder. Marjorie Taylor Greene stood by Trump after January 6, 2021, and Lindsey Graham rolled Trump under the bus. So why is Trump supporting Graham and not Marjorie Taylor Greene? That's right. Here's Lindsey Graham talking about how it's time to move on from Donald Trump after January 6th.
We've had a hell of a journey. I hate it being this way. Oh, my God, I hate it. From my point of view, he's been a consequential president. But today, first thing you'll see. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
Count me out. Enough is enough. Marjorie Taylor Greene very famously stood by Donald Trump through that. But it was Lindsey Graham's birthday the other day, and look who Donald Trump brought to the golf course. What a great day playing golf with President Trump. So much fun today at the Trump-Graham Golf Classic that will benefit the Republican cause greatly. Thank you, Mr. President. That's MAGA now. And Marjorie Taylor Greene took note of that. America first, America only. There you go. There you go. She gets an A on the Liberty score, Lindsey Graham, an F on the Liberty score. So, yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene played her cards, I think, exactly right. I think you are past a tipping point by this point. At this point, obviously, if Lindsey Graham is a member of good standing within the MAGA movement and Marjorie Taylor Greene is in exile, what that means is that the MAGA movement is a dead movement. It is an obsolete movement.
Right.
And Donald Trump killed it. He killed it for Israel. He killed it for Epstein, which is probably a redundancy. And he killed it for Elon and for Larry Ellison and for these big tech oligarchs. And, this is something that we on this show both saw coming a mile away. After October 7th, we said Israel is going to be the downfall of Trump. And then when Elon joined the campaign, it was very obvious that big tech was going to be another dagger in the heart of the MAGA movement. And here we are. Didn't even take 1 year. And now they lost one of their star players who is going to go on to have a much brighter future than Troy Nels, right? Who's sucks on a cigar and says, no, I'm going to vote to block the hoax Epstein files release. Incredibly self-destructive. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think, played her cards exactly right. I think she's going to come out of this just fine. And I think you're going to see a lot of Republicans on Tuesday surprise a lot of people and vote yes to release the Epstein files, because we are now in an era where Donald Trump is a liability to the Republican Party, not an asset.
Yeah. Well, this is something, going way back to 2016 that a lot of us were saying. The kind of politics Trump was pretending to have are the sweet spot. If somebody arrives at creating a political movement and actually sticks to it, that is not pushing a lot of culture war stuff on either side. People don't want that from their politicians. They really don't. Not most people. That's a very small minority. Get off the culture shit. Focus on economics. Leave people alone. Just basically go libertarian on culture. Let people live their lives within reason. And that movement will win. That movement will win. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going back to positioning herself as that, as Trump has demonstrated that he really is not that. Now, the Democrats are very blessed with their base in regards to not usually having to face real mass uprisings from their core voters, because their core voters are made up of brutalized minorities who are terrified of what Republicans will do to them, and very rich people who don't really need politicians to solve their problems. For
Yep.
them, politics is a lifestyle brand. It's not something that they embrace, they get involved in because they need politicians to do something for them. So between those two factors, they can stab their base in the back, in the face, in the neck,
Right.
and they're fine. Not so with MAGA's base, because MAGA's base is largely made up of people who need the government to do something for them. And while the prescriptions that Trump offered were bound to fail, they were sold on the idea it was going to succeed.
Right.
And now they're finding out he's not even going to do those things
Right.
that he
Right.
promised he was going to do for them that would have failed anyway, but they believed were going to succeed. That kind of base that actually needs politics to do something for them, they're going to turn on you. They're going to turn on you. And these, because you have a wider base than the Democrat, even when they are in a financially precarious position, they don't have the worldview of people who have been subject to horrible racist violence and oppression. They just don't think that way about what they need government to protect them from. So they're much more willing to go after their own than the Democrats' base of very poor and very rich are willing to do.
Well, yeah, and if you look, I mean, one of the states that's been very closely polled in these past few months has been Iowa, because Iowa went red for Trump since 2016, but it went blue for Obama twice. It went blue for Kerry, red for Bush. Like it is historically not a deep red state. It's trended very red, just like Ohio's trended very red. And you're seeing congressional districts in Iowa with 15, 20-point swings in the Democrats' direction. Well, why is that? You've literally given people absolutely no choice but to take a flyer on a party that they also hate. I mean, this is how you know it's a dead movement. They're getting routed like this to a party with an approval rating in the 20s. Democrats have an approval rating in the 20s. Not even in the 30s, in the 20s, and you're getting smoked. Why? If you're an Iowa farmer, Trump has tariffed you out of profitability and closed your hospitals. So, like, what choice do people have but to jump ship?
Right.
Like, you have failed people in just unbelievable ways. Like, this is why I say I've never seen an administration be this destructive in its first year, to just come in and blow it in every direction, to the point where you got 20-point swings to the Democrats in Iowa, even though they hate Democrats. Even though they hate them. 20,
for good reason.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like, that's how bad it's gotten. Like, you've literally given people no choice.
Well, this is why I say, like, yeah, right now it might not seem that way, but this is the end of this whole strain of conservatism.
It's the end of the whole thing. People are worried
they're
about...
They're never going to be able to sell this again.
People are worried about Nick Fuentes and the Groypers and stuff, and no. I mean, I wouldn't be, because they're not going to be viable after this. None of this whole thing is going to have legs after this. It's just leaving too sour a taste in people's mouth. I made this point last week, and I'm not making the comparison to the Nazis in Germany, but you know how the Nazis left a real sour taste in the mouth of a lot of Europeans, where like they just don't want anything to do with these right-wing nationalist parties anymore. Even to this day, it's hard for a right-wing nationalist party to win. That's the effect that this is having, right? Yes. Not saying they are equal. I'm saying they're having a similar effect on the politics, right?
It's giving people a taste of what this is like when you take it to its logical conclusion.
Like, this is just, they are just not to be trusted with power no matter what ever again. That is the position you're putting.
You know what? In. Fine. I'll take a black Little Mermaid. It's fine.
Yeah, it didn't have to be that way.
Just give me back my ACA subsidies.
When you tariff them out of profitability, when you close their hospitals, when you double their health care premiums, when you slash Medicaid, when you send money that should be going to Medicaid to Argentina, to bet, like, it's too much for people to take. They can't take it.
It really is just amazing how any restraint they might have just out of a sense of political self-preservation, just out the window. That's why we've never seen anything like this.
Please clap.